Hello there. Brush tonight is my Rooney Restore with, I think it's a 22 millimeter Virginia Shang, or I'm sorry, yeah, a 22 millimeter golden nib 2-band badger. We're going to put that in the water and let it warm up. The soap I'm going to be using tonight is Martin de Condra, just because I feel like it. And we're going to run a little bit of water on this. So how's everybody doing? I know I ask that every time, but you know, how are you? Been kind of busy, but I had an opportunity today to go out to the workbench and shoot a video on saws and the ones you need for hand tool woodworking, and the ones I think you need, because that's a really opinionated subject. When you start talking about saws, hand tool saws, and even like just what they're called, what a particular saw is called, can be incredibly controversial to some people and in some circles. And so yeah, pretty much most of what people will talk about when they talk about types of saws and what types of saws they think that you need and all of that, it's mostly preference and opinion. But yeah, let me wet my face. I've got probably 3 days growth, something like that. But I gave my preference and my opinion, and hopefully somebody will find it useful. But it was good to be able to take some time to do that. It's been hot as hell's armpit. Or the devil's armpit, or Satan's armpit, or whatnot. They're saying that our temperatures are, the last couple of days were down. Yesterday was supposed to be in the 70s, but yesterday was hot as snot. And today they're saying 88, but I guarantee you it's every bit of 90, 91 probably right now. So much for what the weather people know. I haven't done as many shaving videos, partly because I know it's probably been about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer by the time this video is published. Part of the reason, well, one of the reasons I've been really busy, but another part of the reason is that I use or did use a really cheap tripod. One of those aluminum tripods that the legs are all connected together, and just a really cheap one, like a $20 tripod if you were to buy it new, something like that. You could probably get one on Amazon for under 15 bucks. A really cheap little plastic and aluminum tripod, because it's small and compact, and it sits back further from where I am now on the at my sink. And I broke that. I also use that as a vlogging tripod, and I broke that tripod a while back. And usually you go to like Goodwill or Salvation Army or some of the other thrift stores or the flea markets, and there'll be 50 of those things, not quite 50, but you know what I mean. A boatload of those things for $5 all over the place. Ain't nobody got nothing right now. So, and I tried to shoot a video of 3 days or so ago, 3 or 4 days. That's why I got 3 days growth, because I shot the video, and the tripods that I'm using are the bigger tripods that are meant and designed to hold a DSLR camera. and to handle the weight of like a long lens and stuff like that. So they're pretty flippin' big, and they pull out from this way, and I just did not like the look of it, and so I deleted it. So I think I've got it worked out. We're gonna try it. The problem with it is that this has got a ball head on it, and so it takes an Arca Swiss plate and a little Canon ELPH that I'm using. You know, I have to switch between my DSLR's Arca Swiss plate, or I have to take the Arca Swiss plate off of my DSLR and put it on this little camera, and then when I get done, take that off and put it back on the DSLR. And if I forget that and go out to take pictures, then I don't have the Arca Swiss plate, I can't use my tripod. So the photography's done for that day, and I got to go home. That kind of, and I've done that before, so I got to figure at least get a couple more Arca Swiss plates so that I have one for this camera and one as a spare. So anyway, the razor that I'm using is a Gillette Bakelite handle. This is, I think it's a 52, but don't quote me on it, but it's a 50s model razor. They're a little bit heavy with the Bakelite handle. I have a Bolzano Super Enox. This is my last one of those, and I'll probably cry like a little bitty baby. Not quite, but you know, when this one dies, because I think the last time I checked, these were discontinued or hard to find or something like that. But I'll see. We'll see when the time comes. I'll start looking. For them, I got plenty of razor blades by plenty of other manufacturers. So I ain't hurting for none. That's for sure. Speaking of being out of the bench today, regardless of it being warm, it's a beautiful day. They were calling for rain, and it looked a boatload of rain, and it looked like earlier today that we were going to get it. And it just turned out to be a beautiful sunny day. I'm looking out the window right now. There's a bit of cloud, but not much. As a matter of fact, I love that. That right there is like perfect for photography in my book, because you don't, in the middle of the day, you don't get the harsh light. But I could go into some place like a woodland and yeah, run a polarizer and boost up the saturation just a bit with that polarizer, and some beautiful photography in that way. But I don't have time for that right now. I am getting ready, preparing to go to church and praise the Lord tonight. I get to stand in the pulpit, preach Hebrews 12. Lovely. Life is good. I love a tech. My favorite kind of G is the TTO, the Super Speeds, because, or something like the Super Adjustable actually is the one that is my favorite. But it's a TTO. And I like it because I just like the simplicity, or the plainness rather. It's not simple, it's more complicated of a design than this, but you don't have to take the handle off. You just twist the handle, the bay door's open, you pop a razor in, close the handle, and you're good. And I like that design. That's what I started on. But you don't have to fumble with a wet blade trying to take it out from between the faceplate and the cap of this razor. I know people, most people probably just loosen the cap and rinse it out and shake it out and leave the blade in it. I don't do that. This blade will get removed from here, rinsed all the soap off of it, dried with a paper towel so there's no moisture left on it, left out for about an hour or two to make sure it's completely dry, and then it'll go back in the package, in the wrap that it was in, and put away for the next shave. That's just how I prefer to do it. I don't know why I did that. That's pretty flippin' slick. But I'm just used to that design because that's what I started on. Or I should say maybe not used to it, but partial to it. But the tech, it's such a simple design. 2 pieces of stamped steel. Just a lovely, very efficient design. And if it was up to me, I would either recommend a Tech or a Super Speed 4-1st DE razor. I know everybody likes the modern ones, and there ain't nothing wrong with them, but in my opinion, those shave smoother. The vintage razors shave smoother. Now you might say that the vintage razors aren't as aggressive and you don't like them because they're too mild or whatever. That's your prerogative. But for me, they're really, really efficient and work really well. I'm going to finish off the shave with some Osage rub because we are going to church and I'm going to be using that as a cologne. So I really don't need a scented aftershave, and the Osage rub it's got about that much Osage rub and about that much menthol. Actually, that's quite an exaggeration, but it came mentholated, and I loaded the living snot out of it with menthol till my face can't, almost can't handle it, and that's saying a lot, considering how much I love menthol. So I'm gonna use a nice, generous amount. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. because the Osage rub is good for you, and it's good for your skin, and the menthol is good for me. So thank you for watching. Bless you. I'll talk to you later.